We're going to welcome two new guests. We're coming to you again from what we just wrapped up our first ever South African Bike Festival Summit 2018. I think we're still going to get a name that's going to roll off the tongue a little lighter than that. Yeah. But I am standing here. Voodoo, you're from Rambo, correct?
Rambo Mzansi Bikers Organization.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a council of bikers from across South Africa, basically.
All right. Yeah. And of course, Kabelo, Andreas, and you're here with, you are what position with Desperados?
Look, I'm the president of Desperados, and Desperados also falls under Rambo. Yes.
Okay, so you guys are, you were explaining to me a little earlier that that Rambo is sort of like a council organization that, you know, oversees a number of other clubs and riders then in an individual capacity. You want to explain to me a little more about how that works?
Yeah, so Rambo is the council. It's made up of clubs from all over South Africa. We have guys from the Free State, Gauteng, Mpumalanga, you name it. And we're trying now to go across into the other countries. Okay. Basically, yeah, we just want to, we are representing the interests of bikers, and we are the voice for bikers of color. And the main things that we're looking at is safety of bikers and the charity perspective of things, you know.
Okay, it sounds like you're trying to sort of change the perception both towards riding and of riders.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so we're looking at safety and awareness, yes, for the bikers. Look, we want to speak to the rider, and we want to speak to the motorist. We want to speak to the pedestrian. Okay. Yeah, we want to change that perspective that bikers are reckless and all of that. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Because there is, I mean, there's a large negative connotation associated to bikers. You know, it's guys running around in leathers and all that type of stuff, and you know, hooligans tearing up and lane splitting and that. But it's really not, because it's a very social and it's got a very strong culture that's rooted in, you know, society and social ethics and the likes, and also giving back to the community, as you've mentioned.
Yeah, so definitely, yeah. So we want to get rid of that mentality that bikers are those ducktails, you know, those guys with the chains and all of that. Yes. Yeah, we're all professionals. We are business people. We're entrepreneurs. You know, we are part of the community. We have families,
yes,
and yeah, we now thinking about the future of not only biking but the country as a whole. You know, and yeah, we want, actually we're having the blanket run on Sunday, okay, and we want to make this winter a little bit warmer for those less in need, you know.
Giving back to the community.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
You know, despite the negative connotation that they have of you, you want to show them that it's not that. It's not that way.
Yeah.
All right, Kabelo, I just want to chat to you a little bit on the thoughts on, you were one of our guest speakers here today on our panels at the summit. How do you feel the summit went? Did you feel that the relevant topics were touched on and addressed? We did hear a lot of possibly concerns. I'm not going to say problems, but possibly a lot of concerns with fewer solutions. Do you feel that it was successful to bring these issues to light?
Look, I think the biking industry has a lot of challenges that are there currently. And I think the good thing about the summit that started today is that it started igniting, the discussion started happening. Yes. And that's a good thing. You know, we can only start solving these problems when we start somewhere. So at least the first discussion started today. You know, in a long way, we still have, you know, a long way that we still need to go. Yes. But at least those discussions started today. The nice thing is that we had a number of people around the room. We had, you know, all the industry players that were around the room. We had consumers, which are bikers, around the room. We had representatives from different, you know, biking communities around the room, which is very important. And key topics were discussed from in terms of who is the biker, you know, who is the biker that we need to be looking at, what is the impression in terms of what the biker has towards the industry, and what safety aspects that we need to be looking at, and what industry is doing currently in terms of making sure that they keep up with the market. So all those discussions were very important, and I think we still have a long way, but at least the discussion started today.
It is one of those. We first need to identify problems before we can solve them. Do you feel that the necessary people were present here today, though?
Look, I think so. I think the necessary people were here present today. But I think, you know, if you look around the room, as I mentioned also when I was on stage, you know, the room was maybe 99% white. Yes. You know, yes, the statistics earlier said the biker, you know, there's about 60% of male white bikers that are there. But we still have a chunk, you know, if you look at the statistics that were presented, we still have about 16%, I think, of the black biker that is still also there in the market through, according to the statistics. So the room, you know, as a start. Maybe we can do better with regards to a proper inclusion, but that starts at least somewhere. At least we are here to start in terms of that representation. Going forward, obviously, we'll have a proper representation with regards to all the other role players out there.
That's fantastic. So do you believe that this is something that can go from strength to strength? Do you have faith in the sort of program and the sort of platform that getting everybody to address on? Do you feel that this can end in some positive change?
Look, I think this is very good, and I think this has more positives than negatives. One thing is that people always talk, and the nice thing is that now at least there's a platform where those discussions can happen, and there's an ear that can listen to those discussions, so that someone can take notes and say that what then can we do to make sure that we make our brand to appease more in terms of the market? What then can we do to make sure that our brand, people associated with it, better? Because you have different brands, and I'll not mention, brand by name here, but I mean we have different brands, and I think now it's upon those brands to say, what then do we do to make sure that we appeal to these current customers that we have? That's one. The second thing is that what then do we do to make sure that we attract new customers, which are the new shoppers? So that's very critical from a young age to an old age, because those are still customers, and that's very critical to say that go back and reflect through and say that what then do we do to make sure that all that those clients are taken care of,
and that it filters all the way down, and it starts becoming something that is ingrained from an early age even.
Indeed. I mean, I think when we closed up the summit, we had those two young boys that came.
That was beautiful, yes.
Because I mean, one thing that showed us that's the young age where biking is to be introduced. Yes. Because remember, biking becomes a culture, because you get a different kinds of bikers. You get a person that's just there for social, you get a person that's just there, for adventure, you get a person that's just there for recreational purposes, you get a person that's just there, to commute, and those are the kind of stuff that we want to see, and those are the bikers that we want to see. And I mean, seeing them at that young age introduces them to this lifestyle of biking. They start getting used to biking. By the time they reach this age, I mean, they'll be professional bikers. This gives us hope that, in the near future, we'll not only see the likes of, the Bender boys representing us in the high levels of biking, but we'll start seeing, other people coming through from the South African market to be able to play, a role in that level.
That's fantastic. Voodoo, Kabelo, I want to thank you very much for taking out the time out to chat with us, and wish you guys all the best. And I think it's now time for us to go out there and to enjoy the Bike Fest for what it is, just a celebration of all things two-wheeled and a little bit of noisy mayhem.
Indeed. I mean, all the best. I think the Bike Festival has officially started. We look forward to great festivities. More so, we look forward also to some great event that's going to be taking place on Sunday. I think Voodoo mentioned it earlier, which is going to be the blanket run, yes, which will be taking place for the first time together with AutoTrader and the SA Biking Festival. So we're looking forward to such a great initiative that's at least doing something to give back to the communities back there.
Fantastic. Well, there we go. We will see you guys a little bit later on. We're going to go and kick things off. I'm going to go and run around the pits here, but we're going to be bringing you some more action from the AutoTrader South African Bike Festival. I want to thank my guests. Thank you very much, guys. And you guys have a great time out there. And thank you very much for watching and joining us. And we'll chat to you guys later. Bye-bye.